All right, as we gather yet more data points for our warming climate, new studies are supplementing reports from the United Nations and this government showing a dangerous path for the world and for the next generation of Americans and global citizens. The reports are nuanced. This is important to understand. You really have to study these things. We are seeing what some scientists think could be a decline in the use of coal. Global energy consumption from coal power is down 3.7% between 2013 and 2017. That's good. But despite this, harmful emissions that contribute to planetary warming are going up as efforts stall to fight global warming. Based on data from as recently as early November, the world is on track to produce 37.1 gigatons of CO2 emission by the end of this year. That's a jump of 2.7% compared to the end of 2017. The biggest polluters in the world, China, India, and the United States, all are going to have higher emissions by the end of the year. The European Union, by the way, has actually managed to lower its emissions. At least it's doing its part to help fight climate change. And some of these emissions increases could be a result of higher oil consumption, which is up, by the way, from 94 million barrels per day at the end of 2014. Take a look at what's happened to our oil consumption. This is as we get richer and more people in the world have cars. Even though our cars get more efficient, that's what ends up happening. So we have a problem with the emissions that are causing global warming, unless you're one of those people who doesn't believe that.
I'm excited to introduce our next guest, but I'm not going to do so, because Ali Velshi is going to introduce our next guest, because Ali's extremely excited about his friend joining our family.
I absolutely am. A brand new member of the NBC News family, technology correspondent Jacob Ward. You're going to be hearing from him on a range of topics in our increasingly tech-filled world. This is a guy who understands a lot of these complicated issues and a way to explain it to us. So
you have set the bar so high.
I'm quite comfortable.
Serious, really. Thank you so much.
I'm quite comfortable in doing so. And what I want to do is, because we talk about this topic a lot, but what's the thing that most people have to understand about the role that humanity has in climate change?
You know, I think the greatest sort of cognitive challenge we have in handling something like this is that, you know, it is something that is far off and happening at scale. And those are two things that we all know, right? We just, human beings just don't do very well. We're good at, you know,
small things that are happening in front of us.
Snakes, fire, you know, whatever the thing is, right? And instead we have to, in this case, imagine an abstract threat that's, you know, half a century off, although it's getting closer and closer all the time as we're learning here. And as a result, you know, we have to understand that each little tiny thing that each of us is doing, in addition to all the other things that support our lives structurally, is making it worse and worse for us.
Then, knowing that we are living in a world of short-termism, how do you get people to understand how big it is, the threat it is, and what they can do?
Yeah, you know, so I'm so conflicted on this issue, because on the one hand, it's good news in a sense that we can feel it in our lives now, that we're beginning to see floods and wildfires and all sorts of things that are directly being produced by the forces at work here in our changing climate. And yet at the same time, scientists have always said to us that by the time we actually tangibly feel it in our own lives, it's kind of too late. And so there's a real sort of mixed blessing here in the fact that we're actually experiencing it day to day now.
Jacob, you and I have always talked about that group of people who says the science isn't uniform on this, and it's not all together. I mean, if I go to a mechanic, I don't go to 7 mechanics. If the guy says your brakes need fixing, I'm thinking, wow, I certainly don't want to have my brakes fail. Fix them. Maybe earlier than I should have.
That's right.
Why are some people demanding a higher bar for this?
If you go to 3 different doctors, they're not going to give you the exact same diagnosis.
Right, that's exactly it. That is it, right? It's not just a question. No, you're absolutely you're dead on, because
he never says I do a good job, but wow, you think he does?
No, you know, for me, I think that the difficulty is, you know, people don't understand that scientists, you'll never get 5 scientists in a room who 100% agree on a thing. That's the difference between science and politics. Politicians are rewarded for binary proclamations, absolute proclamations. Scientists, all they ever do is build consensus slowly and carefully over time. You iterate and iterate, you try and replicate somebody else's findings, and you do it such that you slowly approach that 100% kind of certainty, but you never really get there. That's the whole point of scientists. That's, in my opinion, why you can trust scientists, is because they're trying to get it right every time. And so when you get report after report, like we saw this week, another report reinforcing the same thing we've been hearing year after year, you should know, you'll never hear people say it's an absolute certainty, but equality as we will ever get, you guys. And so this is
this isn't going to prompt you to do something you're not going to. It's not going to change.
Right. That's exactly
I don't know what people get for it, Stephanie. I mean, look, you see your kids every day, and you say you don't want them living in a world that suffers from this. I don't know what the win is from denying it.
Well, here's the thing that I would say everybody needs to be watching out for is that as you know, back in the 50s, right, the cigarette industry invented the industry of doubt.
Yeah.
And they decided we can't blow apart the actual findings on cigarettes and cancer, but we can inject doubt into it. Are we sure about this? Are we sure about this? And it exploits this loophole in science, which is that there's always a little bit of doubt. That's why
and
you can
if
trust.
there's that doubt, and people already don't want to change their lifestyle, that's all the excuse they need not to do so.
That's exactly right. And so in this case, you actually have the same thinkers, the same institutes that created that doubt industry to fight off, to fight on behalf of the cigarette industry. Those same people have now pivoted to climate change and global warming, and they're injecting the same kind of playbook. You're hearing it all the way up to the highest levels of government, but don't let it shake your faith is the wrong word, but your conviction that scientists are really, they've agreed on this.
I would just say to you, Ali, the argument, don't people care about the next generation? And I would say, how come every time people reach a certain age or so often they say, let's cut school budgets and let's not care about entitlement reform. I want what serves me at this moment.
Jacob, welcome.
Thank you, guys.
Look forward to many similar conversations.
So nice to be here.
Aboard.
Thank you.
Hey, MSNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there and click on any of the videos here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. You can get more MSNBC for free every day with our newsletters. Just visit msnbc.com/newsletters to sign up now.